Hi, and welcome to another review of She-Hulk. This time it's episode 3, which starts out with She-Hulk going to prison to visit the Abomination. And so she's representing the Abomination. This episode is another short one. I think it's like 24 or 25 minutes long. It begins with a recap. I don't understand why they have to have a recap if this is supposed to be a sitcom. I don't remember Seinfeld or any other good sitcom having a recap when it starts. Doesn't make any sense to me. The credits at the end, I think, are either 8 or 9 minutes long. Kind of bizarre for a show that's only 20 to 25 minutes long each week. Anyway, is this show better than the last two? No. Is the show funny? No. I think they really, in this episode, made an effort to try to make the show funny, but it just isn't. What I think is happening is they do not set up the jokes correctly, and the comedic timing does not exist in this show. They really need to go out and get some type of consultant like Jerry Seinfeld or someone to tell them how to make a comedy, because they clearly don't know how to make a comedy. This episode was boring. It basically has in it two competing hearings going on at the same time. One hearing is about Abomination and Jennifer representing the Abomination at his parole hearing. So that's how this all starts out. She talks with the Abomination, and of course, once again, this is a picture. You can see the CGI is horrible. Once again, I do not understand how Disney allows them to release this show with horrible graphics. Disney's well known for fantastic artistry. This show certainly does not emulate that. She looks like, I don't know, a CGI from a really bad game from 15 years ago. I don't get it. I don't understand why the CGI is so horrible. I would think that at this point they would be better suited having a female bodybuilder be the She-Hulk. It would look much better than the CGI they have. They used to do this way back when they had the Hulk TV show where they had Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. So I do not understand why they can't get someone like this to be the She-Hulk. Just paint her green and she looks awesome. What better way to show females that are strong than having a female bodybuilder be the She-Hulk? So, I mean, I don't know. In the comics, She-Hulk is awesome, right? She's vivacious, she's beautiful, she's sexy, everything. And she's a superhero. So, in this show, it's horrible CGI, bad acting, no script, really, no jokes, and just really, it seems like the writers don't know anything about, well, especially in this episode, know nothing about lawyers or the court, or how the court works, or how the legal system works, and it's just really bad. Anyway, so Jen is representing Abomination, and then this guy, if you remember who this guy is, now his name is Dennis. I had to actually think a minute as to who he was. he is being defrauded by a shape-shifting elf from Asgard who transformed herself into looking like Megan the Stallion. Okay? So if you remember who this guy is, Dennis, he used to work with her with Jennifer when she was the district attorney. Okay. So he is a narcissist, and so he thought he was dating Megan the Stallion, and he spent $175,000 on Megan the Stallion, buying her stuff, etc. And so he wants his money back, and so they're in court. Now, he has this guy representing him, and this guy is complaining about Dennis to our favorite She-Hulk and, of course, her cohort, her paralegal, and telling him how much, this guy is a narcissist, blah, blah, they can't stand him, blah, 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 blah. And, of course, these two are agreeing with him, saying, yeah, okay, blah, 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 blah. And so he decides that Jennifer, the She-Hulk, should testify in this hearing for Dennis and tell the court all about what Dennis is like. Now, of course, obviously they know nothing about the court system and how it works. She could never testify in court about this guy because she didn't know anything about him. She worked with him, but so what? Anything she says about him is hearsay and would be tossed out immediately. And she's also not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, so cannot testify as to his mindset or anything to do with his mind. Therefore, her testimony is useless. So this is going on at the same time the hearing for the Abomination is going on. Okay, so you have these two competing hearings going on. All right, one hearing is meaningless, which is the one with Dennis in it, which I don't even know why it's in the show. We have this, side character having a hearing. I could care less about this guy's hearing, right? I'd rather hear about the Abomination, which is what the show should be about. But we have all of this taking place, which makes no sense. And it's not funny. So then what happens is at the hearing for, this is a parole hearing, at the parole hearing for the Abomination, the star witness is Wong. So Wong appears at the last minute to testify at this parole hearing. And so he testifies that the reason that the Abomination was out of prison was because he broke him out of prison because he needed him to perform some sort of task, whatever. And that's why he was taken out of prison. And not only did he take him out of prison, but he offered to send him, to free him basically, and send him to another place. Okay. First off, the whole parole hearing doesn't make any sense to me because why would there be a parole hearing for the Abomination? Don't understand that one. He would be sent to a military prison that he could never get out of, like Guantanamo Bay or something like that. So none of this makes any sense whatsoever. He would be held without any type of trial. It doesn't even, it's just ridiculous to think that he would have a parole hearing because he wouldn't be in a normal prison in the first place. And in fact, if I remember correctly, in the comics and in the cartoons, all of the supervillains are put into a special prison that's designed by Ant-Man that literally is miniaturized to the subatomic universe. So I don't understand any of this. Doesn't make any sense. So, but anyway, in this show, they have a parole hearing to release the Abomination. And so Wong's testimony is key in the folks voting to let the abomination go as long as he never changes into the abomination. Once again, none of this is funny. None of this makes any sense. And it's really just stupid. Other part of the episode is we have the She-Hulk talking to the audience. Talking directly into the camera. None of this is funny. And it really doesn't make any sense. It's not done well. There are movies and shows that have done this really well. One that comes to mind is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when Ferris Bueller talks to the audience. And it's funny. Unfortunately, this is not funny. There's another part of this episode where they make fun of themselves, the show itself being made fun of in social media, where people are saying this show is terrible, blah, 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 and that is not funny. But it is, the sad part is that it's true, that the show is horrible. Doesn't make any sense. And then after these trials are going on, there's a part of the show that really doesn't make any sense. Just comes out of like left field, where the She-Hulk is walking home and she's attacked by these people, a gang of guys that are carrying weapons that look ridiculous. Like one guy has like a crowbar that has, like, you can see it has an LED strip on it of colored lights, like you put on your Christmas tree. And another guy has a hat on that's lit up same way, looks ridiculous. Supposedly these are Asgardian weapons. I don't know, but anyway, they're attacking the She-Hulk with these weapons. From one guy tries to grab her from behind, which makes no sense at all because she's the She-Hulk. And of course, she easily beats them up, but for whatever reason she lets them go and doesn't turn them over to the police or hold them or whatever for the authorities, which doesn't make any sense. In fact, this whole scene doesn't make any sense in this particular episode. It literally just comes out of the blue, this scene. It's like, what? Like, what's going on? And once again, of course, it's not funny in this show that's supposed to be in a comedy. So none of this makes any sense. It looks to me from the attack that they were trying to get her blood. Not sure how you can try to stab the Hulk with a needle to draw blood, because obviously it's a bent needle, and one of these guys has a bent needle. The writers of this show really are stupid. They obviously know nothing about the Hulk. They know nothing about the law. They know nothing about comic books. And they know nothing about even cartoons. It's really, really bad. And doesn't make any sense. So the other part that's supposed to be funny is the whole Dennis guy and the woman that is supposed to be Megan Thee Stallion, or pretending to be Megan Thee Stallion. He wins his case, and the real Megan Thee Stallion is in the courtroom. For a minute, you see her. She waves. And then at the end of the show, when they show the credits, Megan Thee Stallion and the She-Hulk are dancing. And Megan Thee Stallion becomes a client of the She-Hulk. Honestly, this is the best part of the show. If you like Megan Thee Stallion, this is the best part of the show for you. That's it. That's the whole show. There's nothing to talk about, really. The show it just makes no sense. The show makes no sense. It's not funny, and what happens is illogical. Why they bifurcated the show and had two hearings going on at once that don't make any sense legally. I could care less about that guy, Dennis. Nothing that happened to him was funny. It is just stupid. And I was more interested in the abomination, clearly, but that didn't make any sense either. So, I don't know. You tell me what you thought about it. Remember, I sat through this so you didn't have to. On the scale of 5 stars, this gets a 1 or a -1. It is really bad. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe. Tell your friends about it and have them subscribe. Hit the like button. Until next time, maybe. Bye-bye.